I want to say before I get started that I am not a medical doctor. I'm not trying to give advice. Consult your own medical professionals before you do anything. And what I'm going to say is just my opinion from years of research. Good afternoon. Just getting done. I've had a long day, but as usual, I get called out on at least two lawns on stuff that I'm doing absolutely correctly, but they perceive it to not be such. Like string trimming today, one party had the belief that if you string trim, it should look burnt, like down to the ground. And I don't do it like that because then it exposes the mica and the silica in the sand, and then that causes thermal transfer back into the lawn, which kills out more grass going from the edges inward. It causes blight. I always string trim to get the same height as the lawn, okay? And then another, they wanted it mowed low, and it was a new customer that was suggested by one of my existing customers, so I may end up losing multiple customers by doing theirs last week because they followed up with this week a request to mow lower. They wanted my mower to find them a sprinkler they couldn't find. So they wanted plowing, basically. I told them, no, my rear baffles are lower than the front and lower than the blades, and I don't want to deform them and then not be able to mow anybody else's lawn properly after that. And I don't want to be committed where I have a mower deck that's compromised where I can no longer mow the lawns that need to be cut higher off the stem. You know, when you're mowing higher off the stem, then that's exponentially harder to do and get a homogeneous topping of the long grasses. Now, both of those parties didn't realize, I think they were recently moved to Florida, didn't understand the very fragile, delicate nutrient layer that we have, and they were watering. So they wanted the lawn cut so short that it couldn't possibly collect dew in the morning, and it couldn't possibly self-shade to retain any moisture to break down clippings and create its own fertilizer. And it couldn't possibly shade enough to protect the microorganisms within the soil that help create that nutrient layer. So they wanted all of that, and then they wanted to turn around and water their lawn and pull from the aquifer and use fertilizers so that they still had the green experience, even though they're defying all logical parameters, the laws of physics. You know, they want to rewrite the laws of physics to comport to what they want, which is the green lawn, but no damp slippers in the morning and, you know, things like that. Well, the problem is when you do that, by definition, when you water your lawn, just in that one, I'm going to just take that one small piece of the puzzle. By watering your lawn, you're taking away, you're polluting the food supply. By subtraction, you're subtracting one of the components that's necessary for our food crop production, and that's water. Now, when that's gone, what that happens is then, so that we don't have global starvation, there's so many factors. I can't even get into it all. It's all interconnected. But I have to take little bites here to keep people listening. When you take out the water from food crop production to water a lawn that could have got watering done from dew and other means, and maybe because you're trying to support a lawn species that's not natural for your area, for whatever reason, you're trying to empty the ocean with a thimble. And by doing so, you're causing a lot of problems with people in that now people turn to genetically modified food crops that take less water to grow and less nutrients. The problem with that is, initially a person might say, oh, great, a food crop that takes less water and less nutrients. The problem is our bodies genetically don't recognize that as a food. In fact, they're treated more as a toxin. So the first thing that happens is, for every morsel that you consume, your body needs 5 morsels to take care of the energy requirement to parse out any viable part of that food, if you call it a food. The problem is the 5 additional morsels that you swallow are probably genetically modified too. So each one of those now needs another 5 additional servings. So what happens is you're always hungry because your body's trying to get rid of and sort out what could be any potential building block from the foods, quote, foods that you're eating. But additionally, as it's seeing the genetics, the DNA is not recognized in this genetically modified substance you're putting in your body. So the only way that a body has to get rid of a toxin is through aqueous transfer. Sorry about the video quality. I have a gimbal. I charged it. It's in one of the freaking trucks. I have no clue. I thought I was going to have it, and I thought I'd have it for this video. The only way the body can get rid of a toxin is through aqueous transfer. Think of your toilet. Uses water to remove the waste. So another consequence of eating the food that's now polluted, food supply that's polluted because it had not one of the components it needed, so it's pollution by subtraction, is that your body's going to immediately start retaining water because it needs the water to remove the toxic portions. And that's where you get the IBS, you know what I mean? Because that's the only way it has to do it. And then now your body also gets into a hyperinflamed state. So then you start drinking more and more fluids and get more fluid retention. You're drinking more fluids because your body needs them to remove the toxins. And then it needs the fluids to use your gut as a swamp cooler, which is not what it's made for. Then you're diluting all of your digestive enzymes, and you're also wiping out all your gut biome. So then you'll see a lot of water retention because your body has no reason to expect that you won't poison it again going down the line. And then it leads to the metabolic syndrome, and all that good stuff. So by watering your lawn, even if you're not thinking that you are, I think that you're polluting the food supply because now we don't have all the components we need to grow good food. Now we have to rely on something that looks like, feels like, tastes like food to satiate people so that they don't feel like they're starving. But instead they'll feel like they're sick, because that's what will happen. So that's my perspective. I don't know if it's something that everybody's going to agree with, but I'm beyond trying to debate it. You'd have to do a lot of research to end up at the same place that I am right now with my perspective. All right, you have a good day.